MasterCard, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
The holders have once again booked their place in the Champions League final, but who will join them in Kiev on the 26th of May? Rome boasts some of the greatest landmarks in Europe, of course, and the eyes of the world are now on the Italian capital for one of the biggest games in club football. The five-time winners Liverpool arrive in the Eternal City with one foot in the final, thanks to a breathtaking display at their own Coliseum, Anfield. But Roma, no, it's not over yet.
It's massive. It's the biggest night of their careers, and they have to deliver.
Anfield is a bed of passion and noise. A big blow to Liverpool. Connor off. And we know he can hit them. It's Mane! Mo Salah goes for it again. With another crowning moment in the Champions League. He's in. A little Lineker. He is on fire. And there's Sadio Mane. 3-0 to Liverpool. There's the ball. In there, so much and surely now there's no way back for Roma. Checo, there is an away goal, and it's a Roma penalty. Diego Perotti, and all of a sudden this all looks so different. It's advantage Liverpool, but it's by no means the foregone conclusion it looked.
Was brilliant. Come on, we are Liverpool. It's all-inclusive football.
There has never been more goals in a Champions League semi-final first leg than at Anfield. But those two goals at the end see Jurgen Klopp and his Liverpool side arrive in Rome knowing there's still work to do. Liverpool are the Champions League top scorers and the only unbeaten side in the competition. They've proved they belong back at the top table. Now the likes of Mane, Firmino and of course Mo Salah have to deliver again in the biggest game of their careers. Roma might have been reduced to ruins at Anfield a week ago, but those two late goals mean they're faced with the same task as they did against Barcelona, and we know what happened there. They're yet to concede a goal at home in Europe this season. They've won their last 4 Champions League matches here, including 2 by 3 clear goals, which is what they must do here tonight. Liverpool are 90 minutes away from reaching the Holy Grail for a place in the Champions League final. It's Roma against Liverpool, and kick-off is at 7:45. And with us here in Rome, Steven Gerrard, Rio Ferdinand and Frank Lampard. And Steven, huge occasion for the Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah, it is. It's so big. The stage is set. You know, the Liverpool players now should be feeling really good. They should be excited, and they should come out onto this pitch with the shoulders back and ready to deliver another 90 minutes, because they absolutely destroyed this team a week ago.
No reason for nerves. No reason to be a little bit kind
of. It should be excitement. You know, obviously they'll be aware of the Barcelona fixture here not so long ago, and they've got to use that as the motivation. And I'm sure that's been Jurgen Klopp's team talk.
You've all played in games like this. Frank, what is the most important thing, especially if you're going into the second leg with a lead?
Well, it's the last step. It can be the hardest one potentially, and they can't write off this Roma team because they're going to come out all guns blazing. But I think it's attitude, it's focus, it's mentality, and of course be excited. They will be excited, but that's from the moment they step on that pitch, they have to be so focused on what they need to do. Because if they do that, then this Liverpool team, 3 goals ahead, should get there tonight.
Mental strength is important.
Yeah, it's huge, and there's going to be a moment today where they're doing their ties up in the mirror in the hotel, and there'll be questions because there's not a lot of experience in this team at this level, so they're going to have questions to be answered. But I believe the confidence they'll take from the last game will lead them in good stead in this game here today.
Well, talking of the last game, let's remind ourselves of how Liverpool have got themselves into this very promising position.
I mean, the start of it, Gary, came from Roma's high line. They came to Anfield and they played a very bold formation with 3 at the back, and the line was so high. And every time Liverpool regained the ball, they played it forward. They had a lot of runners, and they had Mo Salah in devastating form. You see this finish. A lot of respect for Roma as an ex-player, but there's that ball from Trent Alexander that I'm talking about, straight in behind the defensive line, and they cause Roma all kinds of problems.
This Liverpool team in this competition, progressively so actually, as it's gone on even more, have found a way to really produce. No one can handle them so far. Their defenders are a tight-knit unit. They attack with blistering pace across the team to support each other and attack. And there's no team that's matched them so far. If they keep that momentum, they've got every chance. They were fantastic, barring this last 15 minutes, which obviously has kept this game open.
I think the manager must have seen something now. He must take into this game. They changed the formation at this point to 4-3-3 in the game, and they looked better equipped than to deal with this Liverpool team. Yes, Liverpool maybe took their foot off the accelerator, but he would have seen something here that hopefully we don't see the mistakes that Roma made. Well, not for Stevie, but the way that they set the team up last time was almost suicidal. So you're going to see a difference.
There's a massive difference between Roma away from home and Roma at home, certainly in the Champions League this season. And we saw that against Barcelona, where they pulled off the miracle that no one saw coming.
Yeah, I mean, Zeko here bullied the back four of Barcelona, and I don't expect that to happen today, but they came with a mentality, they came with a belief that they could do it, and use this stadium, use the atmosphere here to take apart a top Barcelona team. Not a Barcelona of 5-10 years ago, but still a very able team. But at the same time, in this game, Barcelona had chances to win this game, to put this tie to bed. They didn't take it. If Liverpool get these chances today that Barcelona got, game over.
Yeah, not conceded at home in the Champions League this season, Roma.
Yeah, well, having watched the game at Anfield, we can't quite believe that. We don't know. Well, credit to them, because they've obviously found a way of making this place a fortress. But tactically, it feels that if they do that against this Liverpool team, because they play different to everybody in Europe this year, they had that real direct threat that the Barcelona team, for all the great players and the Lionel Messi they have, they're not so much of a threat in behind as Liverpool really are, and this could be really open for them tonight.
Well, there's been a degree of tension in the city here, obviously, after what happened last week. And by and large, the fans seem to be having a good time. There doesn't seem to have been any problems. Hopefully it stays that way. There's been some nice aspects of Roma fans showing their appreciation, their best wishes for Sean Cox in his recovery. Remains in critical condition. Liverpool fans are here to enjoy themselves, Stephen. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want, and I'd like to echo what you said about Sean Cox. We hope he's going to be fine. But these occasions, Gary, they're special. The Champions League's the best football competition in the world, and both Roma fans and Liverpool fans should embrace that and really have a special time tonight. Obviously, there has to be a loser, but let's hope everyone gets home safe. A lot of these fans have been in the stadium for a good 2 or 3 hours now. Frank, looking forward to this one.
This is what it's all about. You can feel the atmosphere in the city. Earlier, we were having lunch there outside our hotel. You can just feel that buzz that only the Champions League at this later stage is what brings the fans, both sets of fans. Let's hope there's no problems and just enjoy a great occasion.
OK, well, it promises to be a thrilling night, and Liverpool have had success here at the Stadio Olimpico in years gone by. Their most famous visit was some 34 years ago as they won their 4th European Cup against Rome in the final here in 1984. Alan Kennedy there with the winning penalty after a memorable penalty shootout with Grobbelaar's antics and all. Souness lifting the trophy. In 2001, Michael Owen was the hero for Gerrard Houllier's side as they won here on their way to winning the UEFA Cup some 17 years ago. How quickly time flies. Now Liverpool's fans will be hoping for more European glory after a trip to the Italian capital. More build-up to Roma against Liverpool, including the team news, after the break. Welcome back. 5,000 fans have travelled here to Rome with tickets for Liverpool's 100th Champions League match. This is their 10th European Cup or Champions League semi-final, and Liverpool have got to the final in 7 of those previous 9. And hopes are high that they'll make the trip to Kiev at the end of May after another exhilarating night at Anfield a week ago. As expected, the Liverpool fans packed the surrounding areas like they did against Manchester City to give their side a welcome that befits the occasion.
Yeah, it's huge. You know, I'm big night to belong here. Probably the biggest game here for 10 years.
Klopp has instilled a belief, and they're only 3 games away now from getting to the Champions League final and winning. If I'm in the Liverpool dressing room, all I'm thinking about is getting the ball to the front 3 because they're not quick enough, they're not mobile enough to deal with them.
Anfield is a bear pit of passion and noise. The players getting a taste of what it must have been like when the gladiators strode out of the Colosseum. Here's Roberto Firmino. Mo Salah goes for it again. Mo Salah goes for it again. Liverpool's Egyptian king with another crowning moment in the Champions League. Here's Mo Salah. He's in. A little delicate one. Oh, yes. He is on fire. The flag stays down and Mo Salah's in for Liverpool. And there's Sadio Mane. Salah turns the Vida 3-0 to Liverpool. Look at the space again for Salah. Oops, off he goes. There's the ball. There's the finish. It's 4. It's Firmino. And it's the rout in the Champions League for Liverpool. They are unstoppable tonight. And they are surely almost in Kiev. And it goes from Milner. Van Dijk was in there. So was Firmino. It's a Roberto Firmino goal. It's 5-0. And there's still over 20 minutes to go. To Dzeko, who scores, and there is an away goal for Roma. Nangolan coming in, it's a really important deflection, it's a penalty. And he scores, it's a fantastic penalty by Perotti, it's a second away goal for Roma. So there we are, half-time in the tie, it's advantage Liverpool, but it's by no means the foregone conclusion it looks.
I suppose, Stephen, if someone said to you before the game, 5-2, you'd take it.
In the game, Gary, when you go 5-0 up, you have to kill the game. Liverpool come down the gears towards the end and they've paid for it.
I'm sure the manager will be really upset because they've given them a small glimpse, but this Liverpool team now and the way Roma plays tonight show that they can score goals next week as well.
I think the Roma manager has to take full responsibility for the result tonight. I question, has he even seen Liverpool play this season the way he set them up?
That's all positive. In a moment, it feels not that positive. But believe me, tomorrow I see the really good part of that game because it was brilliant. Come on. Thanks, Jürgen. Welcome.
Great stuff. I'm worried about your diet, though. It was a wonderful night of football, that's for sure, for Liverpool. And they were helped by Roma's decision to field 3 at the back at Anfield. Will it be the same again? Let's get to Des Kelly for tonight's team news. Des.
Thanks very much, Gary. We're at the stage of the season where this Liverpool team essentially picks itself, not just because of the quality of their performances, but because Jurgen Klopp doesn't have too many options. Let's have a look at the Liverpool side first. The most significant change, of course, is Wijnaldum comes in for the injured Oxlade-Chamberlain. Gomez was a possible option at full-back or centre-half, but he's out with an ankle injury. There were concerns when Henderson and Alexander-Arnold picked up knocks at the weekend, but they're OK. And Mane missed the Stoke game after a precautionary hospital scan on a minor injury last week, but he's been given a clean bill of health. And the front 3 are all in place. As for Roma, well, their back 3 formation, one that worked so well against Barcelona, was a disaster at Anfield, and it appears to have been wisely dumped. And the Brazilian defender Jesus is dropped as well. The Dutch international Strootman is out with a rib injury, and Perotti, who scored the penalty in Liverpool that gives Roma a flicker of hope, is also out with ankle trouble. Lorenzo Pellegrini, the Italian midfielder, comes in. Dzeko up front with Sheik and Al-Sharawi in support. Speaking of support, I'm here with our 2 co-commentators, Steve McManaman, Glenn Hoddle. What's the difference? Wijnaldum for Oxlade-Chamberlain, how does that affect the Liverpool performance?
I don't think it'll affect them that much, Des. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's been in really good form, as we know, and he was very unfortunate to be injured. But when Wijnaldum did come on, I thought he was excellent. And equally, he's been in very good form as well. So, if anything, it'll give Liverpool a little bit of solidity in there. The fact that the team picks itself, I think, for Liverpool, and the front three are the front three that have played so well recently. I think that's the driving force of Liverpool's performance today.
Clay, what do you think of the Wijnaldum situation?
Well, I think it might tighten things up, and obviously Liverpool haven't got to go gung-ho with the result as it's standing at this moment in time, but Oxlade-Chamberlain was one that used to get in behind. He was a goal threat more than Wijnaldum, but for me it might just work. He's got a lot of energy, and it'll be a real battle in there. There'll be a 3v3. Now they're playing with the back four. There'll be three in that midfield, and they'll be up against Liverpool's three, and I think that might work in their favour tonight.
Hats have changed that defensive system. It didn't work at Anfield. It was a disaster. So they've gone for a back four. Does that change much if they play a high line again?
Well, that's the big question is whether you play a back three or a back five or a back four. Tonight they're going with a four. They were suicidal with the way they played so close to the halfway line against this team. What it will do, playing the back four, is the two fullbacks will actually push on, and they'll force Mane and Salah a lot deeper than they had to go at Anfield. Again, that might suit Liverpool. They've got to bank up and they've got to hit people on the break, but you know, I can just see Liverpool scoring a away goal.
Is that what you think, Steve, as a wide man?
Yeah, when I look at their back four, even their midfield three, this is what I'm talking about Roma, I don't think they're quick enough. I think Liverpool are far too quick. Kolarov, Fazio, Manolas, they didn't have the pace last week. They're not going to get it this week, and I'm with Glenn. I can see Liverpool scoring, and hopefully, if they're all concerned, we'll have a really comfortable evening of watching this wonderful game.
A really comfortable evening, the boys say. Back to you, Gary.
Yeah, thanks very much, chaps. Let's pick apart the two formations, the two teams, starting with Liverpool, Stephen. It is a side, like the guy said, it almost picks itself. There's a certain consistency to it, obviously given nature one or two injuries as well.
Yeah, but I think still Jurgen Klopp would have considered this 11, even if the Ox was fit. You know, he's in great form and got an unfortunate injury, but I think away from home, when Wijnaldum gives you that little bit more work rate, he can break it up a little bit. And what you'll find is Mane and Salah won't come back all the way to protect Robinson and Alexander-Arnold. Wijnaldum will go out to help Alexander-Arnold, and Milner will help Robinson. They'll be the ones who double up, and that leaves Salah and Mane further up the pitch for the counter-attack. OK,
let's have a look at Roma, Frank. We thought they'd probably change to a four at the back after the disaster of a performance at Anfield, certainly in the first 70 minutes.
Yeah, I think they had to do something differently, and they will do. I mean, again, you sort of think from Liverpool's point of view, it's the pace that the lads are talking about there. I think Kollarov's a big attacking threat for Roma. He wants to step forward. He wants to get crosses in. Again, as Stephen said then, if Salah does, not cheat, it's not the right word, but if he takes up good positions when Kolarov goes forward, there could be a real outlet there for Liverpool to get to. But there's some attacking threats in there for the Roma team. Dzeko, we know about El Shaarawy there, who scored 2 goals against Chelsea earlier in the season. There might be a bit more of an attacking threat to the Roma team tonight.
We saw Dzeko kind of bully the Barcelona defence, and Gerrard Piqué, for example. Can't see that happening, can you, against Liverpool?
No, you can't, and I think the effect of Virgil van Dijk this season, since he's been brought in, has been huge for this Liverpool team. He's settled everyone around him. I said that last night on the programme, that top players settle people around them. They make others around them better, and I think you've got young fullbacks, inexperienced fullbacks here tonight, and Lovren and the goalkeeper Karius. I think he's the person that gels that all together, Van Dijk. When they see him performing and comfortable and confident, he's got a big role to play today.
Yeah, certainly has. A massive night for both Roma and Liverpool. And Jurgen Klopp, of course, knows exactly what's at stake. The Liverpool manager sat down with Des yesterday.
The main reason for my mixed emotions was the injury of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It was not that they scored 2 goals. That's of course not what I wanted, but it's that's the game. So I cannot praise my team for being 5-0 up completely and have been happy and think, wow, that never happened before in a Champions League semi-final. It's not decided, and it's that's the strange thing. We won 5-2, and after after the game, it looked like these 2 goals are much more important than the 5 we scored. It's half-time, we are 5-2 up. If we would be 5-2 up in a real half-time, after 45 minutes, I would not be in the dressing room and dancing around and say, so whatever you want to do in the second half, do it, because nothing can happen anymore. So we know that we need to be serious, that we need to be focused again. But look, the boys, so far, have played an incredible Champions League campaign, just incredible. We're always on a really high level. Even if the end it was only a draw, we are not too bad away from home, and that's what nobody should forget.
And Mane, brilliant! A mighty Liverpool romp.
It's a childhood dream to go to the Champions League final. It's nothing less than a childhood dream, and I know it's for Rome the same, but that's then the intensity level we have to deal with.
It's a Roberto Firmino goal, and Anfield is alive and celebrating this magical night for Liverpool.
They don't have to prove this year in the Champions League anything. They proved everything. They played the most exciting football pieces. We had fantastic games. Our supporters could enjoy so many moments in that competition, and so it's how it is. And the semi-finals are only strong teams, and if you go through, you always need a little bit of luck. That's how it is. But we deserve to be here, and if we go through, we deserve to be in the final. So that's how it is. But the team matured a lot in the last year for sure. We are here to bring it over the line, so it's difficult. It should be difficult. It's semi-finals. If that would be easy, then something is really wrong with the competition. And so we are here. We don't think we are already through. We think we have still a job to do, and I have no problem with that.
He's turned Liverpool into a thrilling goal-scoring machine. How's he done that, Stevie? You know him well.
Well, I think they've recruited very, very well. They've bought pace, they've bought power. A lot of the transfers he's made have come off, and I think the way he plays, you know, this heavy metal Ganga pressing style plays into the Liverpool crowd's hands, and the Liverpool fans love it. They've got behind it, and they've built and built, and they just seem to be improving week in, week out.
And look at that. I mean, look at this graphic here. It's the third highest scorers ever in the Champions League, and certainly the highest this season. That says a lot, doesn't it?
It's hugely impressive. I mean, teamwork. I think we're going to talk about the front three probably most of the evening. Hopefully they have a successful result at the end of it. But I think there's a teamwork of Liverpool, the way they work to win the ball back, the way they move up the pitch together. And it's not often you see the front three that are all scoring so regularly, because they all want to get in those positions. When they break, they don't just let one break or two break, they support very quickly, and they're always in position to score goals.
Well, as you can see, the Stadio Olimpico's filling up. It's going to be a fabulous atmosphere in the stadium tonight. I suspect Real Liverpool fans will be hoping it's not too fabulous an atmosphere, because that'll bode well for the way that Liverpool are playing.
Yeah, well, that's great about the game. It's just that there's a legend there on the screen. But this is what's fantastic about football, that it's a crazy game. Anything can happen. We've seen this season the unpredictability in the Champions League. So at the end of the day, it means the fans are sitting on the edge of their seats still, even though it's a 3-goal advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting night, that is for sure. Time for a break, but still plenty more to come here from Rome ahead of kick-off. We'll hear from both camps ahead of a massive night in Italy. And although Roma have a home record to be feared, on the road in Europe, Liverpool have been on fire.
I've travelled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Crossed the desert bare, man. I've been the mountain air, man. I've travelled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere.
It's Mane and Salah, and Mane, brilliant! A mighty Liverpool romp. Mo Salah score. It's an away goal to take Liverpool through to the semi-finals.
This programme was brought to you by Nissan. Programme is brought to you by Nissan and MasterCard, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
Liverpool need to qualify for a competition where they've been the very best of British.
Alexander, he struck it brilliantly! And Liverpool concede the Champions League group stage.
The good thing is we can fulfill our dream.
As a player, you should enjoy this. This is what you should be lapping up.
Liverpool held on the opening night.
I see nothing other than a Liverpool win tonight.
And Liverpool are back 7. Liverpool are beginning to run riot. Pizarro has equalised right at the death.
We've seen teams blown away by Liverpool.
It's lucky 7 for Liverpool.
It is knockout now, exclusively heavyweight.
Mane has slashed it in for 5. The Battle of Britain is on in the Champions League. It's 3-0 Liverpool after half an hour. Liverpool through to the semi-finals. Mo Salah, he is on fire. It's 5-0. It's a second away goal for Roma.
They thought it was all over. It's not yet. Liverpool, 5-time winners of the greatest club competition of them all, are once again on the cusp of reaching the pinnacle of European football. Unbeaten so far in Europe, they lead Roma by 5-2 at the halfway stage of this Champions League semi-final with 90 minutes left to play. They arrive with an abundance of attacking talent, but tonight is a night for character and courage on the biggest night of these players' careers. Roma turned the tables on Barcelona in the quarter-finals when they needed to overturn a 3-goal deficit, and they've exactly the same task tonight. But no side has ever overturned such a scoreline as 5-2 in the history of this competition at the semi-final stage. But they arrive with the belief lightning can strike twice. They're yet to concede a goal at home in Europe this season, and in Edin Dzeko have a striker who on his day can win any game. Lots of supporters, as you would expect, inside the stadium. They've been here for hours. 4 o'clock English time, they were arriving inside the stadium, and they're up for a good night and celebrating their team, hopefully going through to the Champions League final. Rome is the setting, the Champions League final the prize. Welcome to the Stadio Olimpico for Roma against Liverpool. Kickoff is a little under 45 minutes away. And here with us, Stephen, Gerrard, Frank Lampard and Rio Ferdinand. And Stephen, there's only one game bigger than this one.
Yeah, and that's the final.
For club football.
Yeah, I mean, well, the players need to realise that and embrace it. You know, yeah, they're going to have nerves and there's going to be a bit of tension. They're going to come out to a ferocious atmosphere. But, you know, this is what the game's about, and these are the moments and the occasions that you've got to cherish. And just go out there and just empty the lot. Give everything you've got, and I'm sure they'll be fine.
The tension around the place is tangible. And in many ways, the question is, I suppose, if there is a doubt about Liverpool, it's a lack of experience is the only one you can really come up with.
Possibly, but you only gain experience in one way, and that's dealing with these nights. And they have to tap into it. They have to tap into the atmosphere in the city, because you become very aware of that in these sort of games. You feel it around your hotel. They'll certainly feel it when they run out there, because this stadium's filling up already, let alone when they warm up. So, yeah, tap into it. Young players, a bit of youth sometimes, not a bad thing. Maybe they don't think of the bad side. Yeah. They just think of that final that's nearly there.
When you played in these games, Rio, ever any fear, or was it like expectancy and excitement?
No, it was just you couldn't wait to get out of there, but you had to control yourself. As the boys were saying, there's so many mixed emotions that are going on before a game. There is an element of fear. You don't want to lose. There's a fear of losing, the embarrassment, your pride, taking a beating. You want to stay clear of that, but you've got to be able to control that. And there's going to be moments in the game you've got to understand and expect there's going to be moments when you're under pressure. Then it's how you deal with that. Get together, come together as a team and ride that wave of attacks that you're going to be under that pressure, and then you go again.
Interesting scenario around Željko Buvac, obviously Jurgen Klopp's assistant for something like 17 years. The rumours of a possible fallout, Stephen. Could that unsettle things at all for Liverpool at this stage? Strange timing.
I don't think so. I think everyone will be focused on the occasion and the game. I don't like to comment on rumours, Gary, and, you know, the manager hasn't come out and really elaborated on what's happened and what the personal situation is. So it's a very difficult one to comment. It's not ideal, the timing of it, but I think the players have just got to focus on this game and this result.
And there we go, and he's now a favourite for the Arsenal job with not having managed anyone. Number 2 would be Quite an interesting appointment that would be.
It's the mad world of football, isn't it, in the modern days? He's obviously got a lot of credibility in the game. Jurgen Klopp spoke so highly of him. I don't think it'll affect this too much. I think the longer-term plan for Liverpool, it'll have to be addressed, obviously, at the end of the season. But I don't think tonight's going to make any difference.
I think, well, it's Arsenal's night tomorrow night, so I'm sure a lot of people will be watching that one as well. Let's head pitchside. Des Kelly is down there for us.
Thanks, Gary. Here with Steve McManaman, Glenn Hoddle, our co-commentators tonight. Gentlemen, I was talking to Jurgen Klopp yesterday. I asked him if he'd seen the film Gladiator. He said he'd like to play Russell Crowe in midfield. Russell Crowe today on social media said no, he's supporting Roma.
So actually, Russell Crowe not supporting Liverpool.
So you want a gladiator out there tonight?
He always likes an underdog, doesn't he?
It's properly noisy here. Properly noisy. A night for gladiators, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. And also, just a real professional performance tonight. We've said it on numerous times. The lads in the studio have said it. Game management. Liverpool have got a 3-goal lead tonight. Manage the game, play professionally, don't take any chances, don't start sloppily like they did against Manchester City. And if they do that, they should win the game quite comfortably.
Glenn, you're master of a lockdown in Rome. You've got the most famous 0-0 in English football history back in '97. Paul Ince covered in blood, real dogged performance. That's the kind of spirit Liverpool need tonight, or do they just attack? They don't worry about it?
No, they need leadership out there. There's no doubt. This is an intimidating place. And I remember saying to the boys back in the day then is that I fancied us to get the result. I fancied Liverpool to get the result. I wanted 11 players on the pitch because this can be intimidating. They can get at a referee. Keep your heads. The guys were talking about it. Play with your heads, not just your heart. And when I see Liverpool play at their best, a lot of the times, and Klopp on the side, they're playing with their heart. They've got to play with their heads here, and they will come under a bit of pressure. It's how they cope and deal with that, and they'll get the result if they keep a steady mind.
You can hear the volume right away, but there's a track. It's not quite as hostile and intimidating in terms of volume, yes, but they're not in your face.
Yeah, I think the Liverpool players have played in many more intimidating atmosphere than this. We have to be honest. If they go to Turkey, or even if they drew Real Madrid or Bayern, it's far more intimidating because they're a lot closer. It's certainly noisy, but intimidating.
Here's the Liverpool team to a traditional Roman welcome. Can Liverpool, they don't need to play for a 0-0, they're just going to play their normal game, Glenn, and attack.
Well, I think you'll see what they did at City. They actually defended in numbers well at City. It's a similar scenario. Obviously, I think they'll pick them off. And it might take 20, 30 minutes, it might take to the second half, but I cannot not see them scoring a goal. They've not conceded here, have they, Roma? But I think Liverpool in the Champions League this season, I think now's the time. Liverpool will score.
We'll go back to you, Gary, up in the box.
Thanks very much. The Liverpool players given quite a reception when they came on the pitch, wasn't it? Large booing right around from the Roma fans, of course. Time for a break now, but plenty more to come here ahead of kick-off on what could very well be a night decided by a man who knows Rome very well. The magnificent, magical Mohamed Salah returns.
Mo Salah, as ever, as always, week on week, goal after goal. The twinkling feet, the ice-cold finish, the Egyptian on fire. Salah! What about it? Intricate, impudent, devastating. Oh, yes! The hottest gravity with a red-hot finish. No! Mo Salah! Liverpool's Egyptian king
Welcome back to the Stadio Olimpico. Big names here, of course. Francesco Totti alongside John Riso, who played for both clubs, of course. Totti spent his entire career at Roma, scored more goals and more appearances than any other player in their history. How they could do with him in his prime this evening. Edin Dzeko is the man that needed to score the goals if Roma are to make this a contest. This is Anfield and that's Mo Salah, of course, and the fans will be hoping very much that he produces yet again. He scored so many goals this season. Mane and Firmino, the other two in that formidable front three, of course. No Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain even. He's injured, of course, at Anfield, and that rules him out, sadly, for the rest of the season, as well as the World Cup, of course. But with every injury opportunity, something arises for someone else. Gini Wijnaldum is back in the starting lineup, and he's determined to take his chance.
I think everyone knows how difficult it is to come further in the tournament, in the Champions League tournament. So we're now really close to the final. So it's a big chance for us that we can reach it, but we're 90 minutes away of that.
And it's the rout in the Champions League for Liverpool. They are unstoppable tonight, and they are running riot in the Champions League semi-final.
Because they got those two late goals, so what slipped in terms of the Liverpool performance?
You know, I think we felt a little bit too comfortable because everything went well. We scored 3 goals in a short time in the second half. We were playing better than them. They didn't create chances, and I think we were a little bit too comfortable. We made a few mistakes, and of course with a penalty, they were really lucky. But I think that's all because we were a little bit too comfortable with the result we had at that time.
Rome is going to be very hostile, and will that help focus the mind of the team?
Yes, of course, but also what we saw, what they did before in the game that they played before in the Champions League. The really important one against Barcelona that they played. Barcelona also had a 3 goals lead on them, and they still went to the semi-final. So you know, we know what we can expect and what we have to be aware of.
Are you aware of the crowd and the aggression and the noise and the cauldron that's created?
I can imagine how it is, but I think as a football player you always want to play in an atmosphere like that. I already see it at Anfield. There are special nights. It's different than the Premier League games, but with Champions League they even support us better and more. So it will probably be the same for Rome. But you know, I think as a football player you always love to play in an atmosphere like that.
Well, it's certainly becoming very electric out there, heated atmosphere as you would expect for a Champions League semi-final. A couple of the Roma players were a bit critical of Liverpool's long ball style. De Rossi in particular said Liverpool are a long ball team after the first leg, but if you play a high line...
Yeah. Do you mean them long balls that they kept getting in on and causing Roma all kinds of problems? I think it's sour grapes, Gary, to be honest. I've got a lot of respect for De Rossi, fabulous player, had a fantastic career, but I think he spoke on emotions after the game and he's got it all wrong, because every time Liverpool played it long or played it forward, like this example, it went over the high line and Liverpool caused them problem after problem.
I think when a team offer you an opening, as Roma did, with that ball over the top and behind into the space, you'll be a fool not to take it. And Liverpool played the perfect game in that sense. This Trent Alexander-Arnold, a young 19-year-old kid, he played that ball countless times in this game. They give him the easy way out. And this is the way, at this level, you take what you're given, because at the end of the day, they went 5-0 up, so how can it be wrong?
Yeah. Will it be more difficult, do you think, for Liverpool to play that particular pass this evening, get behind them, with them playing a 4 rather than a 3?
No, I think it depends on Roma. I don't think a 4 or 3 will make too much difference.
How high the line.
I think how high they are. It could actually suit them even more if that's possible tonight, because I think the nature of the game, Roma are at home, they've got 3 goals to make up, they're going to want to play in Liverpool's half, so when that ball turns over and Liverpool win it, that first moment is crucial. If they can get that ball away and get it in behind Roma, then they've got a great chance to score some goals here.
I think the worry for Roma is when they have the ball and they're going to play a high line, you have to be perfect in possession, because once you lose it, as Frank said, they're gone. This team don't look back. Barcelona, they play back, they play patient football. These guys, as you see here, as soon as the turnover happens, you've got 3-4 bodies running forward and you've got backup coming behind them, and there's no way they look back. They go forward and then they're clinical at the end of it. Over 3 goals a game in the Champions League this season, that says it all.
The thing is as well, Gary, you know, this was happening for 90 minutes last week. You know, the manager and the players had a chance at half-time to drop the line and play deeper, and then Liverpool wouldn't have been able to play them long passes behind. But they just continued to be bold, they continued to play suicide football, and they were punished 5 times for it.
I think if you remember last week, they were arguing with the manager. At different times in the game on the touchline, the players went over and were arguing with the manager because the players are sitting there probably saying in disbelief, what is going on here? And look, you see the goals in Champions League squad this year. 38 goals, 8 more than Real Madrid.
Salah, Mane and Firmino only got 2 goals less than Real Madrid. Probably the same amount as Ronaldo's got almost, but it's quite a statistic, isn't it? The first 5 minutes will be fascinating to see how Roma shape up and see if they do the same kind of thing.
Yeah, crucial for Liverpool, I think. Whether maybe we talk about high lines and low lines, and that's too much in the modern game. I mean, it's there to be seen. But for Liverpool, I think intensity and focus is their main thing tonight. They don't have to play a high line. They can play a deep block, a low line, whatever you want to call it. As long as they're intense, as long as they're focused, as long as they stop the critical spaces for Roma to get it. Again, I just think the minute they win that ball back, then they've got so many threats in an attacking nature. But yeah, early on, defensively, they have to be right at it.
Solid. OK, time for another break. Still so much more to come, including Jurgen Klopp's final thoughts on Liverpool's biggest European night for a decade. But if they're to make Kiev, they must avoid what happened to Barcelona here in the quarters.
Roma emerge here, daring to consider a modern epic. Over the top again for Dzeko, who scores! This place is rocking and rumbling, unbelieving. And in Dzeko, it could be, it just could be here. The Greek god in Rome, the unthinkable unfolds before our
Welcome back. It's getting quite lively inside the stadium. We just had a rendition of a song that shook the stadium. In fact, it probably shook the seven hills of Rome. Kick-off is just 20 minutes away here in the Stadio Olimpico. 90 minutes separate either Roma or Liverpool from a place in Kiev. Roma are looking to make the final for the first time since 1984. Liverpool are dreaming of making their 8th final, but their first since 2007. As happened in their match at Manchester City, Liverpool have put up a big screen in Anfield tonight. Those fans will be hoping for a repeat result as it was 3 weeks ago, and I'm told it will be full by the time that it kicks off. For Roma, their task is a repeat of their quarter-final against Barcelona. They need to win by 3 goals. Roma's eye-catching midfielder Raja Nangalan firmly believes lightning can strike twice.
There was a lot of disappointment after the game, but at the end we scored twice, so that make us still believe in a chance. It happens once that we won 3-0. Why we shouldn't believe it for a second time?
Roma have risen from their ruins! The unthinkable unfolds before our eyes!
I think everyone has to believe in it, otherwise we don't even play the second game.
It's advantage Liverpool, but it's by no means the foregone conclusion it looked when Liverpool had a 5-goal lead.
We started well, and then there were 40 minutes that we didn't play well, and that's why when they scored 5 goals. So I hope we can play 95 minutes at our best level, and we need our best level to beat them because it's a very good team. They have a lot of individual qualities, so we need to limit them.
Mo Salah goes for it again!
I have a very good relationship with him. We're good friends. We're always in touch with each other. For me, he was already a very, very good player over here. And it's not that he maybe became better than he was here before, but with the different kind of players he had in the team now, it makes it maybe more comfortable for him to score more goals and to be more decisive than he was over here. We know all that it will be difficult, but we need to believe in it. And then at the end, we will see where it goes.
Well, they did it once, didn't they, coming back from 3 goals down against Barcelona. But you've still noticed, even in that game, even though Barcelona didn't exploit it, there were gaps left.
Yeah, there were, and we've gone over that quite a few times since this game was played. But it was evident in this game, if Barcelona had taken their chances, they would have finished this game off. There were still them gaps, them holes in this defence. There was space behind. They played risky football, which they had to, as being a couple of goals down and needing 3 goals. And this will be tonight. This will be the same. I don't see it being any different. This Roma team will play like this, and I think if Liverpool get in here and get these opportunities to exploit these spaces, they're more clinical, they're more direct, more aggressive than this Barcelona team. But again, as I said, this is going to have to be risky football from Roma today. But when this turnover happens against Liverpool, it doesn't take this long. They take the time, but they're in. Liverpool don't come back. And this is Messi here, he gets an opportunity. And this is the risk that happens today. When your goal's down, you've got to take chances. And against a Liverpool team like this, they're a team that exploit that.
Let's give you a few Roman numerals. For a start, only Celtic have actually conceded more goals than Roma in the competition this season. But here's an interesting stat in comparison. Of goals actually conceded at home, Roma haven't conceded any, so that's quite a remarkable difference between home and away, Frank.
Yeah, where they're criticising the defender and their high line. I mean, it seems to work. I don't know.
Work at home.
Well, they're at home and they've managed to maybe get possession of games and they've been on top of games more than often, but maybe they haven't met anyone quite like Liverpool here. But that's a great record. They can't argue with that. They need possession of the ball, and as Rio said, they have to be so sure in possession, otherwise that's under threat.
They have lost 7 games domestically this season.
Yeah, they have, but the majority of them are in the league, 1 in the cup. They've been outstanding here in the Champions League and defended really well, but they haven't faced a team just like Liverpool in the form they're in.
Very true. Jurgen Klopp described last week's first leg at Anfield as all-inclusive football. The German now stands on the brink of reaching the 3rd European final of his career. And here he is with Des.
Jurgen, one of the defining nights of the season, certainly so far. Everything gone to plan? Are you all ready and prepared? Happy?
As happy as you can be before a game, so I'm not looking for being happy before a game. I want to be happy after the game. So we did what we had to do and prepared ourselves as good as possible, and yeah, now we can start.
You expect a hostile reaction here? Is that first goal going to be important, maybe quieten the crowd down?
Yeah, that's clear. So, and when you see the lineup of Roma, you cause your problems always by yourself. So you win at home with a good result, and then it's clear the opponent comes back and wants to strike back. If you lost at home, then they want to defend tonight. So it was always clear that we have to work again, and that's what we do. We are here not to defend the 3-goal lead. We are here to win a football game. That's what we did always when we played wherever on the planet, and why should we change that? We know for winning a game you need to defend with all you have. That's always like this. That's what we try, but we want to play football as well.
So is the game plan similar to the Manchester City game, where you're in a similar position, you had the lead?
Yeah, without conceding an early goal, but yeah, of course it's similar. We didn't have the plan to get that much under pressure as we did at City, and of course it was impressive, and City is unbelievably strong, and it's not easy to find solution in a game. It was good that we had half time and could talk about it again, and the boys reacted brilliant then. And we played a much better second half, of course, but I love both halves in that game, and tonight we have to take both halves as well. So we'll see. It's clear it will be a very intense start, and then we have to be ready, and nothing else we try to prepare so far.
Wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you very much. This time it's probably true.
He looks very confident, Jurgen Klopp usually does, and he exudes that, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think he comes across that way to take a bit of pressure off the players as well. You know, it is going to be tough and intense out there. You know, they've got a couple of young players in there like Trent and Andy Robertson, and you know, if you're the likes of Milner now and Henderson, you're grabbing them players and saying to them, you know, you just go and enjoy yourselves, play your own game, try and play to the level that you'd expected of, and sort of take the responsibility away from the lack of experience in the team.
Interesting that Liverpool this season, certainly in the Champions League, they tend to score in bursts, Frank. I don't know why that is, or whether it's just a freak, or but as you can see from the statistics there, it's quite interesting. If they could, one burst will do it tonight, a burst of 3 and it's done.
Yeah, they have this sort of style of suffocating teams, and maybe that's not easy to do for 90 minutes. But they have a way where they get a grip of a game, they close down the space, they win the ball back, they attack very quickly. And when you flip a game like that and you keep winning it back and you keep going with a real intense patch, goals come, especially when you have quality up front.
I think going back to Klopp, I think what he has generated here is a belief, and what he's got from the fans, the city, the players, most importantly, is trust. I think when you're in a change room and you trust your manager, you're willing to run through brick walls for him, and that's what he's created at this place, and that becomes a very powerful combination when you go into especially environments like this, and that's what I think makes them a formidable team going forward, because he's adding players to the system, not players just because of their ability. They're going to have to fit the system, and he's done that fantastically well since he's come in.
Big night, of course, for Mo Salah, coming back to Rome, where he played so well for them in the last season or so, and there he is.
Yeah,
huge night for him.
Yeah, it's a big night. But, you know, we've seen him coming out on the pitches earlier, the warm-up, and he's smiling. You can see his shoulders are back, he's confident, and so he should be. You know, he's in the form of his life. And no one seems to be able to stop him at the moment. Rio touched on it last night about defenders, whether they're having, taking time off at the moment, but they're giving Mo Salah chances like this. And if you show him the goal on his strong foot, or let him run in behind you like this, he's going to punish you because his finishing quality is so high.
This front three of Liverpool, there aren't going to be any surprises tonight. You know what to expect, but when in this game, in this day and age, speed kills. And they've got it in abundance. And what they've got as well, the catalyst for everything that happens going forward with this Liverpool team is Firmino. The ball goes into him, it sticks. And that means then the runners can start piling forward and getting into support. When you haven't got a number 9 who can hold the ball up, you can't start these attacks. There's no platform. And that's why the importance of Firmino is huge as well in this team.
Certainly is. As you can hear at home, probably the atmosphere is building. It's deafening. I have no idea what you just said, Rio, but I'm sure it was brilliant. The scene is set. Who will make Kiev? Liverpool, the 5-time winners, take on Roma for a place in the Champions League final against the holders Real Madrid. It's a night for heroes. Roma against Liverpool comes after the break.